What's going on, guys? The Barber Phil here, back again with another haircut tutorial. But before we get into today's cut, I've got to give my man Chris Bosio a huge shout out and a thank you for reviewing one of my videos on his YouTube channel. I've already started to see some growth from that, so for that I greatly appreciate it, Bosio. We're all looking to you for inspiration and for the drive. I mean, I do 2 videos a week. I can only imagine doing a video a day at times. That's a lot of work and dedication put into it. So we're all taking it, following your lead. And so for that, I appreciate it. I'm going to continue to do my best to follow with Sean Cuts Hair and Cuts by Coast, and really be ambassadors for the 245 group. You guys are huge in the industry right now, so we're taking a lot of direction from you guys. We appreciate the support, myself included. To those that are new to the channel, I appreciate you coming over. Stick with me. I'm going to keep grinding this thing out. We'll keep getting better. And let's get into today's video. So we're going to get right into this haircut, guys. After doing the consultation, he actually showed me a picture of a Mohawk that he was wanting to do. As you guys can tell from the back, during the spin around here, he normally cuts the back to a point anyway, so I kind of knew that coming in. He's thinning up in the corners, up in the front, so we actually didn't take a whole lot of length off the top. We more or less just kind of point cut just to give it a little bit of texture, because this is a Mohawk, so he's going to have a lot of it styled up, so you want it to be a little bit choppy. Coming in, starting off things with the Slimline Pro Li, we tapped in our bald line from, the base of the bottom of his ear. That's a reference point there in the back, up and around to the C, about midway down the C cup. We're going to come in behind this with the FXs, bald it all the way out, and then from there we'll get into the fade. So we're going to start this fade off. I've got the metal magic clip and I have it wide open with no guard on there. And we're going to do about a 3/4 of an inch to an inch section here of that blade wide open. Making sure that we really scoop out at the top of every stroke. And then what we'll do from there, there's a lot of overhang here, just the way that his hair grows and the actual shape of the way we're cutting it. So I'm actually just kind of beveling just the corner of the blade there, getting some of that hair that's overhanging so that we can really see this section that we're working in. Now what I did was I closed that lever halfway up, and we're going about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through that initial open section. Then just below that we will close the lever all the way, and we will go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up into that half open section. And that is the transition that you will get from the FX to the Slimline through a closed clipper all the way up through open clipper, and then from there we can go ahead and start fading out in between this and the weight in the parietal ridge area. So to go ahead and start removing the bulk, we're continuing with the metal magic clip. I have a 3-guard closed, and we are coming straight up and off the head. Even though it does leave a little bit of a shelf at the top, we're going to come back in, clipper over comb, and some blending shears later to fix that and refine it a little bit. But this is a 3-guard close, making sure that you are always taking that clipper up and off the head in the exact same shape as the bald section and the fade section that we have going here. That way you keep everything in order and consistent, and then from here we'll keep fading down. So we're going to follow that 3-guard closed up with an open 2-guard, working just below that closed 3-guard section. And as usual, as we fade down, you'll close that lever up halfway, you'll come down a little bit, go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through that initial all the way open 2 section. You'll close it up all the way, drop down a little bit more, and go about halfway to 3/4 of the way all the way up through that half open 2-guard section. From there, I am going to actually skip the 1.5, use an open 1-guard, and really just try to use my wrist and flick out every time I come through that line. If we can get away with not using that 1.5, then that's what we'll do. If we need to come back in here in a minute and use it just to touch some areas up, that's what you got to do. But you don't always have to do every single guard just because it's the next guard up. Sometimes if you know how to finesse the clipper, if you know how to work the lever, or you know which clippers for you cut different lengths, then you can get by with not using every single guard, just as a robotic motion or whatever. Sometimes it is a waste of time to use a guard when it's not necessary. So that's what we're trying to do here. Get away with not using that 1.5, at least for now, until we need to really refine some stuff maybe. But to get the base of this fade down, we skip that 1.5. The one guard's working just fine, and we can continue to move on. So ultimately I decided that this was a little bit darker than what I wanted to leave it, so we pulled back out the 2 guard. I started with it wide open, went through there a few times, it just wasn't quite doing it. So I actually closed it all the way up, and then I decided to use just the corner teeth of this blade on the right side. Just kind of rake those last 2 or 3 teeth on the blade and the actual guard itself up through there. Soften it up just to pinpoint some of those dark areas specifically that I wanted to lighten up. And then from there, we're going to pull out the clipper over comb, lighten up some of that shelf just above where I was using that 2 guard there, and maintaining the length so that he can still spike it and it matches with the length that we leave on top, but it doesn't leave such a hard shelf there. And then right here we're using that 1 guard just to kind of pinpoint just below that 2 guard we just did, soften some of those areas up a little bit, and hopefully get this fade to a desired look. So as usual, whenever I'm doing clipper over comb, I like to use the Oster flat top comb. It's a thicker plastic, and then of course with the teeth on that guard, or the teeth on the comb itself being as wide as the blade on your clipper, it helps eliminate any chance of you gapping somebody or your blade being longer or wider than the teeth on your typical comb. So it's just kind of a safety thing. So from here, once we've gotten this side to what we like it to be at, we're going to pull out the FXs. Go ahead and put a light C cup and then a vertical bar, even though it is very faint here in the front. And then from there, I'm going to let the other side really speed up, and then we'll get right back into it in a second. Clean up that back a little bit, and I'll get back with you guys. As usual, guys, take a second once this video is over. Check out all the links in the description of this video, or really any of my other videos for that matter. Find that Tomb 45 Academy link, click on it, go take a look at that Academy. I promise you guys won't regret it. If you're into YouTube tutorials for haircuts and you're trying to grow your craft and learn new techniques, learn different hairstyles, I promise, guys, that's the best place that you can go do it. You got guys on there, Chris Bosio, Sean Cuts Hair, Get Beam, Dre Cut It Out, and S-Craft Wins. Guys, it's hard to beat an academy where you get access to 5 of the top guys out there on YouTube doing it. So take a second, go check that academy out. Alright, so what happened here was he showed me the picture in the consultation before the haircut, and I thought the drop came down and then had a longer V in the back. What he actually wants is that fade to come down more and the V to be smaller. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the no guard on this Metal Magic clip. We got the lever all the way closed. We bumped that initial section in, then we opened it up all the way, created about another 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch section. Close it up halfway, buff that out a little bit in between. So you still got your FX to your slimline to your closed to your half to your all the way open. No guard. That gets you to where you're at now. From here, I'm going to make sure we get both sides consistent and even so that that V stays symmetrical. And basically, we're just going to rework the sides, at least mainly towards the back section, because that's really what matters. The front's not bad to where it's up to where the ear is. It's from the ear back that we're really having to work on. So, working our steps the same exact way. We just want to make sure that we keep it consistent, though. And so, you know, always make sure you're checking both sides. You're keeping it, you know, the same on both. You're not working one side higher than the other. From here, we're just going to point cut the top. There's no real rhyme or reason as to the amount. He just said take some off, kind of texture it. That's what we're going to do. Just point cut it and go down through here. Alright guys, so the last step in this haircut is just using the blending shears, the 40Ts, to come through here, soften up that parietal ridge. That way when he doesn't style his hair, that shelf lays a little bit softer. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and take the Dyson, completely dry his hair, get it prepped and ready to style it. All we're basically going to do is take some pomade, work it through there, really pinch the hair, give it that textured look because it is a Mohawk. He plays baseball here at one of the local colleges here in Owensboro, Kentucky. So of course baseball players are really going with that Mohawk look right now. I actually hounded him here in a second about his mustache. It is No Shave Movember, so I got him cracking a smile there about it. Guys, take a second, hit me up in that comment section. Let me know what you thought about this tutorial. Consider subscribing if you're new, guys. Hit that subscribe button. Smash that notification bell so that you get an update every time I post a video. Sunday and Wednesday is still the schedule. Chris Bosio, I greatly appreciate the shout out, man. It's I'm hoping that it just really lifts the channel to the heights that I'm hoping to get it to. So guys, I appreciate the support. Stick with me, and until the next video, guys, I appreciate it. Oh yeah, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't.